Hello, all of you string picking guys and gals out there. Welcome back to Obscene Studios here at the String Pickers channel. So good to have you back. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. If you're into content like this, some how-to stuff, some guitar maintenance stuff, this is the place to be, brother and sister. This is the place to be. Today, in the studio, we have a Rogue Dreadnought. Not really sure what year this is. Those of you that are not familiar with Rogue makes a lot of entry-level acoustic and electric guitars. Not bad instruments at all. Good instruments to start with. This, I think, is the RA90. Has a whitewood body and top, stained and painted, of course. I think that's more painted than stained. Has a gloss neck. I think it's called a Novo neck. Simulated rosewood fretboard. I don't know if that's composite or what that is. Nickel tuners. And what looks like some kind of mahogany, maybe oak even, bridge on it. Not really for sure on that. But yeah, good friend of mine, actually a brother in Christ, Josh, had sent this with me. He asked me if I worked on guitars, and I said, well, you know, that's kind of what my YouTube channel is based on, is just guitars, you know, fixing them, doing all that crazy stuff to them. And he says, well, I've got one that's a little bit out of tune and I'd like for you to look at it. And I said, well, sure, you know. So I got a hold of it. I noticed the action was a little bit high. The belly doesn't seem to be raised a lot. It has the X pattern bracing on the inside, but the frets are just absolutely dingy. I'm going to clean those. We're going to oil this fretboard, get it back in good looking shape. And I noticed that one of the tuners has come loose up here. I'm going to check these tuners out, may possibly replace these. Just want to see how they act once I get into it. Leaving the strings on here, these strings are not very old at all. They seem to be in good shape. Little bit out of tune, but that's okay. This guy is wanting to get into playing guitar. He says he just likes to have a guitar he can sit around the campfire with and strum some chords and learn how to play. And I said, brother, I will hook you up. So today, this is what we have on the bench. Let me get you on the bench and we are going to make this little thing shine like a diamond. I'm going to use some McGuire's on it. We're going to buff it out. We're going to make it look absolutely awesome. Got a few dings and stuff here and there, but you know, that's just character. That is not, and there's really not even a lot of those. Just so little things here and there on it. But yeah, so we're going to make this thing absolutely sparkle by the time we're done with it. So give me just a second and I'll get you guys on the bench. Okay, we've got it set on the bench. We're going to get the geeky stuff out of the way first. And that is checking the neck level. Now, normally you can put on my little thing here that I've got to check neck leveling with. This is a 20 fret, 25.5-inch scale. Now I can look through that and I know there is a lot of relief in that neck. So, but lately I have been studying on the best relief to have. And so we're going to apply that knowledge today. I've always kind of used those and then just aimed for a little bit. So there's a YouTube channel that I seen, Rhett Skull. He goes to his guitar tech, and at a store in Atlanta, Georgia. I forget the name of the store, but he says the absolute best way that he does it is capo first fret, thumb on the 12th, and then check at the 6th fret. The 6th fret should be between 3 and 7 thousandths. This one, this is a feeler gauge, by the way. If any of you out there want to get into doing this, you can get this at your local parts store. They're relatively cheap. I ordered mine from Amazon. Got all different kind of thicknesses in there. So I pulled out the 5 thousandths because that's technically what I like to aim for, is the 5 thousandths. And I think he said between 4 and 7 was good. And this is just a little bit high for the 5 thousandths. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a bit of that relief out, and we are going to let that neck sort of level out a little bit. But however, right now, what we're going to concentrate on is we're going to get these strings off, get everything cleaned up, and then we're going to come back to that afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and get her cleaned up and get this thing looking right. I mean, I think that he needs a guitar that he's going to be proud to hold and play, and one that sounds good. So that's what we're going to do for my old buddy Josh. Okay, and our measurement at the nut is 44.9 millimeters, or 1.768. At the 12th fret, we are looking at 2.12 inches, or 53.87 millimeter at the 12th fret. So got a little bit of the nerdy stuff out of the way. Let's go ahead and get the strings off of this thing and start shining her up just a little bit. Great, just broke a string. We'll have to address that issue. Okay, that is okay. We can fix that. Broken strings are not an issue. But yeah, it all boils down to determination. And I told him this. I said, you know, I always can tell those people out there that are going to make it, are going to learn guitar, and I can tell the people that can't. And it comes down to two things. And the first thing is determination, whether or not they want to learn guitar. And the second thing is the quality of guitar that they are playing. Now, I had the absolute worst quality guitar you could ever imagine, but I played that thing until I wore blisters on the tips of my fingers and they busted. But I kept going. I was determined to play. I remember the first time I ever heard Van Halen jump, and I heard that guitar solo, I said, that's what I want to do. I want to play an instrument and make people feel how I feel right now. And that's what it did. I picked up that old Continental Drifter and I played that thing till my fingers blistered, busted, and bled. So you keep that in mind when wanting to learn to play an instrument, as it boils down to determination and quality of instrument. I've had people that wasn't really determined to learn how to play, but had a good instrument to play on and stuck with it because it was a good instrument to play on. And I've had people that's had terrible instruments to play, but was so determined that they stuck with it anyway because they wanted to learn something. And that's exactly what they did. They followed through with it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change these tuners too. Okay, got the strings off, got the string pegs out. Let's take off the back side of these tuners. I'm not dissing Rogue by no way, shape, or form, but they're not exactly known for quality parts. And I'm not exactly putting quality parts back on here. I'm just putting a step or two up from what's already on it. And these tuners have got a lot of play in them. It's ridiculous the amount of play that's in these things. He was concerned about it going out of tune and everything, and so I'm going to put him on some tuners that's going to be a little bit better about holding tuning on this guitar. Okay, cleaner for today is going to be what it always is, the Dunlop 01. It's pretty good stuff. Usually you can spray this stuff on there and it breaks up that finger gunk and everything. If it's not too bad on the fretboard, breaks it up real good, and that way that you can just clean it right off. And that's always, I think, the life of an instrument is maintaining it, especially your fretboard and your neck. Your body is no less important, but the fretboard and the neck really need careful attention to every now and then. You need to clean that stuff off, apply a little bit of oil to it. I'd say about twice a year, maybe. You want to condition your fretboard, or lemon oil, you know, something like that. You don't need to do it more than that. And once you apply the lemon oil, you really just need to leave it on not even 30 seconds to a minute. Because once you do that, you have to think about your frets. Your frets are anchored in this wood. If you let that oil sit on there for a long period of time and that wood starts soaking that up, you may end up with some problems with your frets. I'll tell you one thing, it's got a beautiful grain. I don't know what simulated rosewood stands for, but it's got a beautiful grain to it. And there's not a crack or nothing nowhere. It's a real good looking fretboard. Okay, let's check our fret level, see if we've got any raised frets. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll take care of that real quick. Let's see if we can whack them. That may be all that it is. And that's all that needed. That is just very, very slight. A little bit more. Well, that's all that needed. Come on, baby. And that's it. No filing today. Seems like they just needed to be reseated a little bit. We got it taped off. I didn't want you guys to sit through the whole painstaking process of taping off the fretboard. But these frets are a little dingy, I don't feel any rough spots, any divots or anything in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a medium and then go to the super fine. And let's see, that's going to be the medium. And there we go. This is a lifesaver. Scotch-Brite pads comes in different grits, different coarse to I think super fine, and you don't have to clean up all those little metal shavings that get all over everything from using steel wool. So Scotch-Brite is the way to go. You can buy this stuff for next to nothing and it is awesome. So let's go ahead and try to get these things. Plus it conforms around the fret, which is a super cool thing for it to do. Already see a huge difference. Now all we got to do is put that shine on it. I'm breaking out the flits as always. A little on top of these frets. Okay, now I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frets. So let me go ahead and polish these up and then I'll show you guys the difference. Let me show you now. Those have the flits on it. Those have just been scratched down with the Scotch-Brite to a super fine. And that is the difference right there. That's about as smooth as you're going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the rest of these, then get this tape off, and then we're going to buff this body down with some Meguiar's to protect it, and it will be time pretty much to put some tuners on and string this thing back up. Okay, got the frets done, the fretboard looking good. It is time to put on some Meguiar's and buff this thing out and shine it up real good. Okay, let's give her the final wipe down to really bring in that shine. Now I understand this is not going to hide any scratches or dings, but it sure does make it look pretty. And it adds just a little bit of protection against dust and what have you. Let's flip her over to the back. Now I did put a little bit on the neck too. This is a glossy neck. If it was an electric, I probably wouldn't have done that, but it slicks it up a little bit for a little while. Makes it easier to move up and down the neck. But Josh is a beginner at guitar. He has had music in his life in the past, but not with this instrument. It's with another instrument. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, all right. That will do that. Let me re-situate you guys. We are going to put on some, look at that shine. Look at that. Oh, that's just plumb beautiful. Just slick as I don't know what. Yeah, let me reposition you guys, and then we're going to put some tuners on. Well, guys, I think that will do it for Josh's Rogue guitar here, RA-O or -90, I think's what it was. But anyway, as you've seen, we replaced the tuners. We've got tuners in there that were a lot better. Not the best, but they're off-branded tuners, but they're a lot better than what he had on there. And we put graphite in the nuts. We did just a little bit of neck leveling, not a whole lot. Wanted to get that action down more, but I was scared to death to file on this nut because there wasn't a whole lot left there to file on. But for Josh, for an acoustic, I can play comfortable way up the neck. It's definitely playable. Sounds good. I think you'll have a lot of enjoyment out of this guitar. We did make it look a whole lot better. Those frets were just as dingy can be. And of course, that's nobody's fault. None of it's anybody's fault. It's just what happens to them when they sit over time, and moisture and humidity and all that stuff gets hold of them. But anyway, guys, I really do appreciate y'all stopping in today here at Obscene Studios on the String Pickers channel and checking out what we had to do to this Rogue guitar. We have turned a Pinto into a Cadillac. So really appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, share, do all that crazy stuff YouTube wants you to do. And remember, I hope that you and yours are having the most blessed day ever. And I pray that God is with you all. Till next time, later.